New York Times reporter Brian Stelter gave advice to aspiring professionals.
The art department's draw-a-thon inspired students to bring out their inner artists.
And Chancellor Deaton was honored at a retirement reception on Monday.
Hello, and welcome to 23 News. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lisa Conley.
And I'm Kellen Marvin. You're watching MUTV 23 News.
A competition involving facial hair and running took place to battle prostate cancer at the second annual Stash Dash Sunday. Abby Narashkin covered the event and is bringing the story to you.
I'm Abby Narishkin with 23 News. I'm here at the Stash Dash put on by the Student Union Programs Board. The Stash Dash, a free 5K race open to the public, was put on by the SUPB to raise awareness for prostate cancer.
This is the second year that we've done it. We're going to try to make it a tradition, try to keep it going. So November is prostate cancer month as well as breast cancer month, but breast cancer kind of gets more of the publicity, so we're just trying to raise awareness for all the cancers.
Because it is also No Shave November, former president of the SUPB came up with this 5K with the facial hair theme.
We heard about it through the MU Info email that goes out to all students, faculty, and staff, and we love running, so we think that this is a great way for us to get out and help raise awareness for a good cause.
The race started at noon at the crosswalk in front of the Memorial Union and finished outside of the Student Center.
I think there's festivities in a facial hair contest. I'm not entering, of course, because I would win, so it's got to be fair.
The winners received a gift card during the reception in the shack. Food was catered by Jimmy John's and was provided to all participants.
I tried to model my dad's mustache, so I think I nailed it. I think I look like my dad right now.
This has been Abby Narishkin with 23 News.
Thanks, Abby. Running and facial hair are an odd combination, but I physically can't do either, so I'm impressed. This week, New York Times reporter Brian Stelter made an appearance at MU. Stelter, an innovative blogger and journalist, presented advice to students about working in this digital age. Rose Schmidt reported this exclusive event.
Rose Schmidt here with 23 News. Brian Stelter spoke about the importance of having a digital identity and online entrepreneurship. On November 5th, Mizzou students gathered in Fisher Auditorium to hear New York Times reporter Brian Stelter discuss the importance of building one's digital identity.
If you create your own publication or you create your own YouTube channel and develop an audience there, that's a way, not the only way, but a way to get hired, and I think it's a way for some college students to consider.
Stelter told students about TV Newser, the blog he founded as a college freshman.
When I was running TV Newser, I was a freshman, I was a sophomore, I was a junior, and it was like a great college job. It was not even a job. It was a great hobby that I didn't realize was a job.
Stelter stressed the importance of making a good name for yourself.
The thing that sticks out in my mind definitely is what he said about making it so that the top 10 Google search results you have are your name, and not only your name, but things you're proud of about yourself.
For someone like me who wants to share my articles, I want to share them with lots of people, but I want to make sure that they're in context. I want to make sure there's not dumb photos of me next to those stories. I want to make sure that I'm presenting a professional view of myself online.
Stelter also talked about his best-selling book, Top of the Morning, and discussed what talking to students really means to him.
Honestly, speaking to students is one of the best parts of my job. It's one of the most fun things that I do because, unlike a lot of people, college students ask good questions. They know what they don't know. They want to learn.
This is probably going to sound like a super giant cliche, but he's truly like my social media idol.
Every story I write, whether it's a 100-word brief or a 1,000-word news story, has the potential to reach many, many, many people.
With 23 News, this has been Rose Schmidt.
Thanks, Rose. It looks like it was an informative event, and I wish I could have been there. Up next, the MU Art Department hosted its first draw-a-thon on Saturday. Maya McDonald showcased her artistic talents and reported on this event.
Faculty and students have been diligently working on art projects for about 2 hours now, and they've only got time ahead of them. This past Saturday, Mizzou's Fine Arts Department hosted its first draw-a-thon, an all-day event in which faculty and students could work on multiple art projects, from printmaking to latch hooking.
drawathon is a free draw space, so it's like a time period, right? So like a marathon, but with drawing. So we've made this a 12-hour drawathon from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. We have people from Fibers and 3D that are doing drawing with line through sewing, process that are monoprinting and printmaking, so the connection of drawing with printmaking, and then drawing that can be installation, that can be based sort of like in a space, and then traditional sort of like on-page drawing.
With the use of art workshops, lively music, and tasty refreshments, both students and staff were able to explore new and old skills while creating strong, lasting bonds and healthy relationships.
We do get to come and play with all the different materials without being in the class. So like if you haven't taken printmaking before, you're still welcome to go into that studio space and dabble in it a little bit and learn some before you take the class. Or if you've already in the class, you can come in, work on a project, and some teachers are offering extra credit and things like that. So why not?
Some participants had final words on how art and creativity is important to Mizzou and to our lives.
It's something that's really fundamental to academic institutions, but then also just like our own personal life. So that's why inviting people to kind of come and participate in that, even if it's not like your major.
Art is needed for society. It is an essential part of life.
For MUTV 23 News, I'm Maya McDonald.
Thanks, Maya. I'm pretty sure that after 12 hours of drawing, I could still only come up with like a shaded stick figure.
Exactly. I know the only drawing I ever do is doodles in my Spanish notebook.
Well, it's a good thing that there's so many talented MU students to make up for our lack of ability. In honor of his accomplished career, Chancellor Deaton celebrated his retirement reception on Monday. Deaton has served as MU Chancellor since 2004. Samantha Kumar attended the reception and got the story.
On June 12th, Brady Deaton announced his retirement from his position as Chancellor that he has held for the last 9 years. With November 15th marking the day of Chancellor Deaton's retirement, this past Monday, the Reynolds Alumni Center hosted his retirement reception. The reception celebrated the achievements and contributions of both Chancellor Brady Deaton and his wife, Miss Ann Deaton. The reception's program began at 3 p.m. and featured speakers from MSA President to the Deputy Chancellor. Following the program, the reception continued until 6 p.m., allowing students, friends, and faculty to thank the Chancellor.
He's a great chancellor, and he really believes in students and inspires all of us. And I think I'm just really grateful for the ways that he's inspired me to pursue my dreams and just improving the world in agriculture and development. Just wanted to say thank you and show my support.
For 24 years, Deaton has served the university and accomplished multiple projects in his 9 years as Chancellor. Deaton has increased Mizzou's international reach while reducing the university's carbon footprint on campus. In 2011, President Barack Obama appointed Deaton chair of the Board for International Food and Agricultural Development.
I think it's beyond what they do. It's when they go above and beyond their duties as leaders. When they take the time to visit with students, or they just show up at certain events, or they work on things like the Tiger Pantry. Even here at today's event, one of the things that everyone was asked to do was to bring a canned good to donate to the Tiger Pantry. You wouldn't normally see that at a retirement reception, but here for the Deatons, that was very important for them.
Although he retires, Deaton does not leave MU. He plans on staying in Columbia to serve as Chancellor Emeritus and pursue projects in global food security. For 23 News, this has been Samantha Kumar.
Congratulations, Chancellor Deaton, on a long and successful career, and thank you for everything that you've done for Mizzou. For our next story, the Military Resource Fair took place on Tuesday. Students found out about different aspects of the military, and many student organizations sponsored the event. For this story, reporter Savannah Mudd covered the fair.
Savannah Mudd from MUTV 23 at Stoltler Lounge, where veterans have come to talk about their organizations. The Military Resource Fair was held at the Memorial Student Union. Both veterans and active members in the United States military brought information about their different organizations. One big thing that the fair was promoting was help for veterans in different areas of their lives.
Well, the people who are at the tables here are from various agencies who offer services to veterans, many different services serving many different veterans' needs. And so this provides a forum for veterans to kind of come to a smorgasbord of agencies who might have services or that would assist them with some issue that they might have.
The fair also included people from the active military who came to promote their branch as well as give students more information about what the military was all about.
I'm with the Missouri Air National Guard, and I'm a recruiter, so we're here representing the Missouri Air National Guard and just trying to let people become aware about it and the benefits that we offer. It's helpful to actually, with all the other vendors here, we actually get information from them as well so that we can take back and give to other people and learn things about the military and the veteran services that are available.
Thanks, Savannah. Our next story covers issues over health care that were discussed at the Columbia Medicaid Expansion Resolution Day yesterday. MU Tigers for Universal Health Care sponsored the meeting, and Amanda Vitale was able to sit in at the discussion.
Tigers for Universal Health Care met in Arts and Sciences Tuesday to discuss a strategy before they go before Columbia City Council.
MU Tigers for Universal Health Care plan to go before the Columbia City Council to urge them to pass a resolution in favor of the state legislature's expansion of Medicaid for Missouri residents.
I think that the community generally believes that health care is a human right and that we need to move forward with further health reform and at least make what we've already got going on happen.
As the fifth largest city in Missouri, this university club believes Columbia City Council can make a difference throughout Missouri.
This has been Amanda Vitale for MUTV 23 News.
Thank you, Amanda. Next up, we reached out to students in this week's segment of Ask Mizzou. This week, students were asked what superpower they wish they had. Here's a look into how they responded.
Read people's thoughts because I want to know what people are thinking all the time, and it wouldn't be any other problems if you could just know what people were thinking all the time.
Invisibility, just from Harry Potter and stuff. I've always thought that was cool.
I would want to be able to read people's minds just because I think it'd be really interesting.
I like to fly to cut down on the cost of transportation.
I would want to be invisible so then I can just go wherever I want and then no one can see me.
Teleportation because I could get places way faster.
I'd be Hannah.
And I would be Morgan.
Duh. Read people's minds because you know they're always thinking something, but you never know what it is.
Teleportation because you could do anything and surprise anybody anytime.
Flying because, I don't know, it'd be cool just to go wherever I want, whenever I want. There wouldn't be traffic too, so that would be good.
To be in two places at once so I could actually get things done and have a social life.
Probably the power to transport myself to anywhere I wanted to be. That's a good one.
I know that if I had a superpower, I would want it to be that of the roomer from the Umbrella Academy. She can't say anything that's wrong, so I'd stop missing questions on tests.
That's a good one. For me, if I had a superpower, I'd want teleportation so that when I wake up 5 minutes before my first class, like I did today, I could still make it on time.
That would make getting across campus in the cold and rain a lot easier, too.
True.
Well, it looks like that's all we have for today. Up next, Rose Schmidt will be presenting local and national news, so don't change the channel yet.
Thanks for watching and stay tuned.
Residential housing at Mizzou is planning on increasing the safety measures in the residence halls that have not yet been renovated. Halls such as Laws, Excellence, McDavid, and others are set to receive a second set of locked doors that students will have to swipe their Mizzou ID cards to unlock. Voting day was on Tuesday, and throughout the state of Missouri, only 5,667 people out of the 700,000 registered voters actually went to the polls. This is an 8% turnout, and even though bills were still passed or rejected, voters should strive to make time for voting. MUTV will have more results from yesterday as more information is released. On Tuesday, Nathan Grellner, a previous mayor of the St. Louis suburb Valley Park, has been sentenced to 2 years of probation. Grellner pleaded guilty to drug and alcohol intoxication, resisting an arrest, and assaulting an officer. His sentence stems from his actions in June 2012 when he was pulled over for speeding. As a result of his charges, Grellner had to resign from his position as mayor. On an international level, Argentine officials have recently found documents that provide information over a past military dictatorship in the country. The dictatorship ruled from 1976 to 1983, and the documents describe the Dirty War, which resulted in the death or disappearance of over 30,000 artists, intellectuals, journalists, and many others. Officials found the documents hidden in an Air Force bunker and have given the documents to the country's judicial system. Gubernatorial elections took place Tuesday night. We'll be discussing this up next on Spitfire, hosted by the always fantastic Jacob Jones. Stay tuned.
Hey Tigers, and welcome to Spitfire, MUTV's one and only debate show. And for all of my faithful followers, all 6 of you, yes, I did get a new haircut. Thanks for noticing. Tuesday night elections, if anything, were a strong foreshadowing to the potential landscape of the 2016 election. Republican New Jersey Governor Chris Christie was reelected by a wide margin. However, fellow Republican Ken Cuccinelli narrowly lost his bid for the Virginia governorship. Virginia, being a battleground state, would have been a gem for the GOP, but the party's funds were predominantly funneled to ensure Christie's reelection. Along with that, in a GOP primary race in probably one of the most conservative districts in the nation, Alabama's 1st, the establishment won. Tea Party candidate and businessman Dean Young lost to the Republican veteran Bradley Byrne. The battle for the right will continue in the coming months as conservatives decide who to support, either establishment conservatives like Byrne and Christie, or Tea Party radicals like Ted Cruz of Texas or Dean Young. As Tuesday night's elections show us, the likely choice will be the former. In studio, we have Jake Loft and Caleb Cavaretta of the College Democrats and Republicans. Gentlemen, a couple questions. Kind of an interesting turnout last night on Tuesday. I don't think anything unexpected, I would say. First, I'll start with you, Jake. Do you think that Christie has a good chance for the 2016 nomination?
I don't think Chris Christie is going to make it through the primaries.
Really? What is that?
Well, the primary process is broken, and everybody just funnels money through it. All different candidates just to run attack ads against each other, and it usually ends up the more conservative person wins the primary. Like a Rick Perry type. Especially with the way things are working now, we're probably going to get a Tea Party candidate for 2016. That's not, that's probably not what the country needs. Chris Christie probably stands the best chance of winning against probably Hillary Clinton in 2016. But, I think this race in New Jersey will, it showcases the way Chris Christie handles his politics, the way he can solve problems. So you never know. We might get a moderate like Chris Christie in there in 2016. Who am I to tell you?
Well, what do you, Caleb, what do you think of that? I mean, obviously for you probably would like to have a Tea Party candidate up there for the 2016 presidential election because, quite frankly, they're not electable. I mean, we've seen this trend in the recent months. What are your thoughts on that of a Democratic nominee going up against, say, Chris Christie versus a Dean Young?
Someone like Chris Christie is really, I think, beneficial to the national dialogue in that he reaches out to Democrats, he makes attempts to compromise. He embraced Obama in the aftermath of Sandy. He's called out Republicans who played politics with Sandy relief aid. However, he's still a lot out of step with a lot of the average Americans. He vetoed the legalization of gay marriage in New Jersey, and the New Jersey Supreme Court eventually overturned him. He vetoed a minimum wage increase. New Jersey was on the federal minimum wage until his veto got overturned by a popular vote in the same election that he got reelected with. He's definitely very charismatic. He's definitely a very likable person, and he's willing to compromise. However, he's still on a lot of the values issues out of step with the average American.
Who would you say for the left is a viable candidate for 2016? We hear so much about Republicans and who's going to run for 2016, but you don't hear a lot besides Hillary Clinton. Who's going to be on the ticket for Democrats? Who are the front runners so far?
Well, Hillary Clinton definitely is dominating the field on the Democratic, speculation at this point for 2016. She has a lot of support. She has a great record. She's one of the most qualified people to really ever consider run for president. And because of that, she has a lot of institutional support. You have your Joe Bidens, you have your Martin O'Malley's, who are also considering running. Well, Joe Biden may be considering running. But when it comes to Clinton, she really provides a lot of the institutional support that we'll need for 2016.
So yeah, let me help you out on this one. You know who you need to look out for? You need to look out for Michael Bloomberg. He's an independent, pretty well liked. He's been a Republican in the past. He'll probably be on the Democratic side this time, but I think he's going to make a run for it. I don't know if he'll beat out Hillary Clinton, But you know, if whatever side Michael Bloomberg decides to get the nomination for, I think he'd win.
Do you think he has enough bipartisan support to be able to take the ticket regardless of where he runs on?
He's got a lot more Democratic support than Republican since he switched from being a Republican to an independent when he was the mayor. But you know, I think Michael Bloomberg's something you need to look out for.
I think that's pretty out there speculation. Bloomberg has not been in step with the Democratic platform. When it comes to things like stop and frisk, when it comes to things like his tax policies in New York, when it comes to things like creating a basic class system in New York City over the past 10 years, I think the idea that Bloomberg would stand any chance in the Democratic primary is kind of ridiculous.
All right, so you know, if I had to vote for a Democrat, I'd vote for Michael Bloomberg. It's my favorite Democrat.
All right. Good to know. Well, switching up gears here a little bit. The Affordable Health Care Act has been in the news a lot recently. I just was curious, do you think, I'll let both of you comment on this, do you think that the repeated issues and the repeated commentary on this is kind of given President Obama and Democrats in general a black eye, I would say? Do you think that that affected any of the gubernatorial elections on Tuesday?
From the polling numbers that I saw, a lot of the election results are pretty much in step with how the polling's been for the last month or so. I don't think it really caused significant harm. You have seen Republicans really take a hold of that message in a lot of their campaign efforts. I don't think the American people are really buying it, though.
Jake?
Well, Ken Cuccinelli was down 11 points last week. You know, he didn't lose by 11 points this time, or like in the election last night, which probably had something to do with the misinformation that the president was spreading about the Affordable Care Act.
I'm sorry. No, I think that had a lot to do with the libertarian.
Yeah, that's what I was about to get at. You know, but you know, Terry McAuliffe did pretty well whenever he decided to send a bunch of money the Libertarians' way to take some of the votes, like a Ross Perot type situation, and that's probably what had more to do with the margin narrowing than the Affordable Care Act information. But you know, it probably helped out Republicans a little bit last night.
Interesting. It's all about the money, right, guys?
That's right.
Well,
Exactly.
Thank you guys for joining me. That'll be all for us tonight here on Spitfire. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at MUTV23 and like our Facebook page. Thanks for joining us. This has been Jacob Jones with Spitfire, and this has been MUTV 23 News.